Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a little bit of a kind of a big warning, but also kind of like we have a little bit of kind of bad news in all honesty, but as well as a little bit of good news too, so I don't want to be completely on the anti-Xbox side, but we actually have some really big kind of drama when it comes to Xbox now pretty much banning and suspending players who are now actually doing things such as like running emulators on their consoles themselves. And as well as have a really big partnership that a lot of people are kind of being thrown on a loop right now when it comes to Xbox, especially in regards now to who it actually is and why, because it's probably one of the biggest gaming companies that a lot of folks were assuming that maybe PlayStation would have maybe tried to go and acquire. So this news is a little bit on the peculiar side. So we're going to talk about a lot of big stuff all throughout this video, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below if you guys want to follow, play, hang up on Twitch right now if you guys are bored. Of course, check out the Amazon links and leave your thoughts and comments down below, and let's dive into the video. So first and foremost, let's go dive into more of like the kind of bad news, I would go and say. Good news in a little bit, but Xbox has actually been having a little bit of a doozy. So as you guys do or do not know, emulation is kind of a big thing when it comes to, number one, people kind of preserving the idea of video games. A lot of games nowadays are going on pure digital, or as well sometimes servers shut down or whatever it might be. And also a lot of people like collecting games and making sure the games are still, well, around, that they still exist. But one of the bigger things is that some companies don't like this, even though it is technically all legal. And number two was the fact that it's kind of just an easy, fun thing that people get to do. Sometimes you get bored of the current day games, you want to check out old school stuff, there's nostalgia there. In my mind, it's nothing wrong. And it is also entirely legal as long as you own the actual game itself. It's kind of just basically like, let's say you have like a random video game file, you copy the file because you already own it anyway, you're good to go. But Xbox has now been kind of, well, not doing so good, where Xbox has reportedly started suspending players who run emulators in their retail mode on their consoles. It's also outright banning users who upload emulators, it's claimed as of now, and this is a little bit sketchy. So Xbox has reportedly started issuing temporary suspensions to players who use emulators in retail mode. Previously, users were able to download emulators as applications directly from the Microsoft Store, which would allow them to go play retro game ROMs on any retail Xbox Series console. So that's a big thing to know, is that this is like used to be able to be actually physically on the Microsoft Store. They had applications for it, so it was basically technically approved. Like at the end of the day, it seemed like they were fine with it. Microsoft then at some point later disabled, though, these loopholes, so they kind of realized, hey, people are doing this, this might be a problem, and then, although they would still let the applications run, though. So even if, like, let's kind of like basically you have like an iPhone, like in Flappy Bird. You somehow went and downloaded Flappy Bird, it's on your phone, it gets taken off the store, but you're still allowed to let these run on your iPhone or your Samsung device or whatever, kind of the equivalent. So basically if you have the normal retail system, you're basically good to go. You can run the application through developer mode at that time. So though earlier on this month, though, a group claimed to have found another way to get emulators running in the same retail mode. And then at the same time started a Patreon account asking for $2 per month for access to the new method, which in theory is a little bit on the sketchier side because, well, I'd rather just go buy stuff directly from Xbox or install it myself. Think like a thing like Dolphin, if you guys ever do an emulation site for the, like, Nintendo. It's free. It's like chill. You just kind of access it. It's not too bad. You can't support them, but, whatever. So it appeared it didn't last long because Microsoft is now cracking down on all of the retail emulation and those who use it. So not just the people that are selling it, not just the folks out there trying to do like their Patreon and be like, yeah, you'll give us some money, we'll hook you up. It's like just more of anyone who's even trying to run emulation. And even at the same time, even if it's not fully like illegal, they just for some reason are taking out accounts. So as reported by YouTuber Hikamori Media, who regularly reports on the emulation on consoles, Microsoft has started handing out 15-day suspensions to players running emulators on their Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One consoles in the retail mode. It basically cites a Discord, which I'm going to show you guys in a second over here, called the Xbox Emulation Hub, which is dedicated to the running of emulators on the Xbox consoles. So VGC joined the server to corroborate the claims and found the announcement posted on Thursday from staff member Golden Sky, who specializes in creating retail access to the RetroArch emulator, informing users that retail mode is dead and that the Discord server's retail mode channel will be deleted within the week. So basically saying like they're like calling this stuff out. They're like, this is donezo. Basically going and stating, effective immediately, we are halting any and all retail mode emulation permanently. Golden Sky writes, this channel will be deleted within the week, and this announcement will be moved to the server announcements channel for preservation purposes. So I'm going to show you guys maybe a little more of the actual proper stuff over here from Hikamori. I'll give you guys the nice little link itself on top of this one, where it's just bad. Like, this is like the actual Discord post saying, hey all, retail mode is dead. Like not even like being around the bush. They're just saying, yeah, this is done. Effective immediately, we are halting any and all retail mode emulation permanently. This channel will be deleted within the week, and this announcement will be moved to the server announcements for preservation purposes without pings. A significant amount of users have been receiving 15-day suspensions as a warning shot from Xbox. We strongly recommend removing any and all emulator apps from your console in retail mode immediately. Dev mode is unaffected. We apologize when we got a 15-day suspension. We know it sucks. And it's just kind of showcasing some stuff where it's like, hey, like here's a account enforcement action. Hey, you have an either appeal. Make sure you appeal your stuff. And emails being like, hey, based on your email stuff, you may have actually broken some terms of service. So that's not good. Golden Sky also warns that users who have been re-uploading emulators to retail mode are getting outright console bans. So anyone who's more so trying to go and facilitate all this emulation and kind of like adding old school games or files are now just getting full on banned instead of anything else rather than just a 15-day suspension. 15-day suspension is not the worst. It's not good. I don't like it, but it is a big enough warning that if you guys like this stuff, and I know there is a decent bit of emulation scene that subscribe to my channel, that's a little bit sketchy. Please take my advice and do not begin trying to upload retail mode emulators. They wrote, Microsoft are console banning people caught uploading retail mode emulators. Don't take that risk for yourself, and don't put that risk at others at risk either. It's not worth it anymore. Just use dev mode. So you can still technically install emulators on their console in developer mode, but access to the mode costs a one-off fee to activate, and players have to manually switch between developer mode and retail mode as well while in developer mode, so they can't even play the retail games or enjoy features like quick resume. So it kind of sucks. I mean, I get it. Like, maybe they're just trying to get people offside of like emulations because maybe like there's like a few reasons not to go and completely be mad on Xbox. Maybe they're trying to prevent people from getting like scammed, downloading things like keyloggers, all that type. It makes sense. Like, I can maybe see that because if you don't know where you're really downloading on the emulation files, they could in theory upload any file and then you download it on your own retail Xbox. There might be a chance for bugs or keyloggers or glitches or whatever it might be. I understand that. Like, I can kind of see that. But at the same time, the emulation scene has been pretty popular, and it almost kind of seems like they kind of waited for them to pull out money. Like, as soon as they were like, yeah, we have a little Patreon, like we're doing a lot of extra side work, it's all legal because emulation is legal, we'll go from there. So I don't know, like this is kind of a weird thing. If you guys are part of the emulation side, my really big Xbox warning, make sure you guys are safe and careful. Don't get your account with a strike on it. If you get permanently suspended, you may lose your games, your old, like there's even stuff that might tie into like your actual PC with your Microsoft account. Just be careful. Like, it's one of those big headaches you don't really want to deal with because it's just not a fun time. So keep that in mind. Like, it's just a big warning. So that's a little bit of a heavy bit news over here, but let's put some good news on top of this one. If you guys missed it, the critically acclaimed online at Final Fantasy XIV is now finally heading to Xbox. And Phil Spencer appeared during the Fan Fest now to announce the news that the Xbox release is coming, but as well, also they want to have some more proper business connections. A little bit on the surprising side because a lot of folks were thinking the PlayStation might even be buying Square Enix, and after the Final Fantasy 16 hype, as well with that being an exclusive, we're kind of curious on the future of Square Enix. So during the Final Fantasy Fan Fest keynote, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer appeared to announce the news alongside game director Nakoe Yoshida. We want to bring the Xbox community and your warriors of light together in a way that's safe, secure, engaging, and above all, fun as well. They want to go and like they even said a very specific quote, we look forward to partnering closely with Square Enix on future games. Now, a lot of folks have been curious in this one too because, well, Square Enix hasn't really been kind of buddy-buddy too much with Xbox. They definitely have focused more on the Japanese-style Sony. They have more partnerships. Good example once again. Final Fantasy 16 did come out purely for PlayStation on a timed exclusive. And obviously Xbox itself wants to get more games in the flow, and I can almost maybe see PlayStation not happy with this news. Now, I don't think Xbox right now has the, well, time and also the regulatory approval to go buy a game company like Square Enix, and there has been many, many rumors that PlayStation has been, well, very convinced to may want to buy Square Enix as well, especially because they got rid of like a lot of their Western catalog and they have and maintain games like Final Fantasy still. That would make a lot of sense for them to want to sell their games on this. So as of right now, that does mean that Final Fantasy XIV will now be coming to the Series X and S, and as well also have faster loading times, 4K resolution for the Series X, although they're going to have to wait, well, thankfully don't have to wait too long, but they also did announce a brand new expansion. If you guys do play Final Fantasy XIV, I do myself a little bit, they also have a brand new expansion coming out too as well. So they will have an Xbox version in 2024, there's going to be an open beta sometime soon, progress from the open beta will go and carry over as well, so it's kind of cool to see this connection. But once again, that kind of leads some PlayStation fans a little bit concerned because that is a really good partnership that Xbox may have just locked on in. So we'll have to see if more stuff pops on off. So give me your thoughts and comments on the emulation drama, on the Final Fantasy really good news, and everything else in between. I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Have a fantastic weekend. We will have some videos up as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream. We're live on Twitch right now if you guys are bored. And yeah, check out the Amazon links too, and I'll talk to you guys all very, very soon.